With the skyline of Manhattan as our backdrop, we are across the East River in the fabled borough of Brooklyn, New York. Tonight we wrap up our Monday night schedule with another great matchup here in Week 17, as it'll be the Mounties of Mexico City taking on the Black Knights of Brooklyn.
With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without...
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25.
So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they are led out there by their mobile quarterback.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well. Won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Got it. Ready?
They'll start on the ground here on first down. And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be second down. But you look at this defense.
They were terrific last week against Buffalo in that victory.
One thing you always look for when you're evaluating a defense, how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get? How about last week's game?
In trouble, and he's taken down. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down.
You called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
That's pulled in at the 32. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And a glance here at their quarterback standing 6'3".
And when you think about great seasons in recent memory, he's definitely putting one together here. There's a good chance he's going to go over 5,000 yards passing for the season. He's just a little bit under that mark coming in. And I tell you, it's pretty rarefied air when you get up there with numbers like this.
The numbers for Washington in last week's contest. The hat trick +1, 4 trips to the end zone with his legs.
And, partner, you know how all the guys do when they do that little symbol now about eating, right? Keep feeding me, feeding me. They just kept feeding him and feeding him, and next thing you know, he kept getting in the end zone.
On second down, Washington. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Now, these two division rivals, a couple of late games on the schedule this year. Their first meeting, you might remember, was back in Week 10, and it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home.
Ready.
On first, here's Washington. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
So, Charles, for this offense, we've been talking all year about how difficult it would be to run the table. And you gave me your chances early in the year. You thought maybe 25%. A few weeks ago, you thought closer to 50, but not quite 50. Now, here they are. This is happening, isn't it?
I think it is, Brandon, because I do believe this team is too invested, too well coached to fall asleep with the switch now. And I think it ultimately benefits them to stay engaged all the way through the season because make it to the finish line, then they get the open week to refresh and re-energize. But if you get off the gas now, that can really hurt you come playoff time.
They'll try to counter with Washington. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Staying on the ground with Washington. A gain of 2 there on the heels of a 1-yard pickup on first. This defense, Charles, really played well in that win a week ago.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
So after several rushes to start the game, Charles, they go to the air there and get a nice completion.
Nice mix-up on the play calling, right? Establish the running game, make the defense think you're going to do it again, and then hit them over the top. Now you've got them betwixt and between.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there.
His 8th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Black Knights put the Knights' first points on the board as they take the early lead.
Extra point right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
Back onto the field comes this offense, ready for their second drive. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards.
He was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass run.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
And that will set him up in excellent shape. 1st and goal at the 9-yard line.
Well, that's the down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long. And you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him. Sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did, yet the pressure was still there.
And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year.
And the Black Knights are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So 2 drives, 2 touchdowns here in this first quarter, and he's got both of them.
Well, he's certainly setting himself up for a big game here, and I think if the play caller doesn't get in his own way, they should keep riding him the entire way of this game. Until the defense proves they can stop him, that's what I would call.
No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive.
They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now.
60 Bison, 60 Bison.
Throwing to start the drive. Dickinson. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down. The middle to go. It's Alexander. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
When you look at this defense,
they were terrific last week against Buffalo in that victory.
And it was the pass rush that really keyed their victory. Got to the quarterback 6 times for sacks and plenty of other turbulence in the pocket for him as well.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
And not all spectacular catches are the result of a pass that maybe was not thrown quite right. Sometimes it's thrown in the perfect spot, and you have to just go get it. And he did that right there.
Middle of the field. And they'll send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Fielded at the 20. And bulldozing his way through.
A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Here's Brooklyn to once again go on offense. And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, they're down toward the bottom of the AFC. But you know what they say, especially at this point in the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take my game plan and condense it. I would rely on my fundamentals, the fact that my players are probably just better, and not try and do too much, do just enough to win the game. And on the other side of the field, I'm doing everything. Every trick play I can think of, every different formation, you name it, I'm throwing it at them in order to try and get the upset win.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. 2nd quarter now. It's Brooklyn in possession as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down.
On 3rd down, here's Washington. Now he's loose again, and he gets this one down to the 24.
94 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this 1st half.
So far this season, this is an offense that's proved its ability to move the football. I mean, they're in the top 5 in the NFL and picking up 1st downs, and they get the conversion here. And I think a lot of that is due to how they win on 1st and 2nd down, because that leaves them 3rd and short, 3rd manageable. then, isn't it?
Give him maybe a yard, quite the opposite from the previous big gainer.
From the 23, here's 2nd and 9.
Right back to Washington. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
Washington on the right side toss.
And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to about the 19.
They'll give him a yard on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. A big-time sack there on 4th down. And as a result, possession switches hands. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. On 1st down, Dickinson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
On 2nd down now, it's Alexander. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down. Looking to throw. Dickinson. And this is going to be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
You ain't doing nothing today.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And it's fielded at the 34. A beautiful fake. It's a nifty return of 29 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They get it to Washington, running left. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. A new set of downs after a strong pickup of 16 yards. Now on 1st down, it's Washington again.
And they're knocking on the door now as a good run there going to take this to about the 10-yard line. 126 yards rushing for him now as his big night continues.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And he'll find his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
Holding offense.
So that run play nullified by the holding call on the tight end.
Yeah, I just think he needs to get off the ball a lot quicker and get into the block a little bit more effectively. Then he doesn't have to reach and grab and try and hold on.
Now a run up the middle with Washington. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got. That's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. To the right side and complete to Washington. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And that brings up third and a full 10 yards.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
A toss left to Washington. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there. On his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns.
And the Black Knights have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And it is now 21-0. 5 plays there on that drive. And in the end, the finishing touch, an 11-yard run. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Out is Mexico City now to go on offense. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position now more than ever is a hybrid type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
15 yards on the play, first down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower center of gravity and turn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Looks like he's going to get a couple here on this first down carry, and that'll make it 2nd and 8.
Here we go, Shaq. Roll. Check, Panther.
Back to throw. Dickinson.
A little short pass here taken in by Laporta.
Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
Let's go, baby. Okay, ready?
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. Big strides. Look at him go.
Touchdown! Sam Laporta, his 5th touchdown now on the year.
And the Mounties are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
Extra point splits the uprights, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. So that drive spanned 5 plays. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 28-yard line, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone gets him 3 more.
A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's already cruised past the 100-yard mark. We haven't even gone away for halftime yet.
He might not want halftime. All right, why cool off?
Keep everybody here.
Let's stay out on the field and keep going. But all that being said, everything is really working well for them. The play calling's been excellent. The blocking's been terrific. And obviously his vision and legs have hurdled him to this big number so far. We could be seeing something really special here.
And we'll see how much they give him the ball here.
Now 2nd and 5.
Looking to throw. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. It's caught inside the 25. And they rattle Touchdown number 27. That ties Priest Holmes for the third most in a single year.
And the Black Knights will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Back out comes this offense now late in this first half. Charles, you're down multiple scores, less than a minute left here, but with that deficit, they've got to try to at least work their way into field goal range to try to muster something out of this drive.
And I'm going to go ahead and date myself one more time because I'm going to quote an old Smokey and the Bandit lyric. They've got a long way to go and a short time to get there, but they still have time to get it done. So I'm looking forward to watching them mount this drive and see if they can get some points out of it.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Looking to throw. Dickinson.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Trent McDuffie with a pick.
And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick 6 for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick 6 in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. Tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
Extra point right down the middle. And the route is on here in this first half. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. This offense back to work now late in this first half. And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive.
Throwing after the interception. Dickinson. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
To throw again. Dickinson.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting on the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. And the slot man goes in motion left. This time they stay on the ground. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1.
Ball at the 33, 2nd and 9.
Back to throw. Dickinson.
This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's 3rd down.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
1 first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
They bring their punter out there now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And with a huge lead already, they may be thinking, hey, our job's complete for these first 2 quarters. Let's get this to the locker room. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
And with apologies to Dylan Thomas, apparently they're not going to go gently into the half. They're still out there firing haymakers. They took a chance on a deep ball there, but it winds up incomplete.
They'll throw now on the final play. He's got a man, complete.
Now he's loose down the left sideline.
And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
And they extend their lead, a little added cushion into the lockers. What a way to finish.
Tremendous way. That's momentum that they carry in with them. Can they convert it and bring it back out to start the third quarter?
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando. That's where we find Jonathan Coach.
Well, we're in the latter stages of this season. Everybody's getting antsy, so antsy that we're going to skip the halftime and get ready for the third quarter.
Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin.
And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return.
And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that number 1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it. It's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that number 1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10.
And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. So not his arm, but hurting him with his legs. A gain of 19 on the keeper and a first down.
Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there. Worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
Here's a 2nd and 3 now from the 33.
Up the middle they go, Washington. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24.
yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. A handoff out of the pistol. It's Washington. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Washington. At the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. On the give, this is Washington. And they'll get to him short of the first down at about the 16. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Now, the offense failed earlier on the previous crack at this, but they're going again on 4th down. They'll try and run for it. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. It's 1st and goal after they rip off a solid chunk of yardage in the ground game on a risky 4th down call. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. And they'll run again. And this time he's in for the touchdown. And they would not be denied on the ground, powering it in just one play after they got stopped short.
And how about how many tight ends are on the field? Because in today's NFL, we think of the tight end more as a pass catcher. For this group, they tell them you've got to be able to run block to stay on this team. And they committed to it and got it done right there.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the 2nd half. Throwing to start the drive. Dickinson. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. He got 29 yards that time. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. They run the counter. Alexander, and they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
On second down, it's Alexander.
And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. 62 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Throwing on first down, Dickinson.
And that one to the right side and incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
2nd and 10.
Now a handoff up the middle. Alexander, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first.
Off play action, Dickinson. And he will not get what he needed as he stopped short of the first down at around the 22. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now 4th down.
That looked great when he first took off because, in my mind, there was room to run, and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with his 4th down call.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit 3rd quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He has been a touchdown machine. It has been enjoyable to watch.
And the scoreboard continues to light up as a result of his efforts. He's been a blast, though. Every time you look up, you just figure if he's got the ball in his hands, he's going to end up in the end zone. It's been that kind of a game for him.
Absolutely. Now you just keep waiting for more. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. That good for 22 and a first down. They just look like they're having fun out there. Big lead. There's another big play on the big run. I mean, they can't be stopped.
I'm a little bit older than you, as you well know, partner, and you tend to tell me that all the time. But it used to be a big-time song, and the lyric was, "Summertime and the living is easy." Right now, it's football time, and the running is easy.
Back now just east of Manhattan in Brooklyn. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. A handoff right side. It's Washington. They'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, They've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and into the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know.
And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A 6-yard touchdown run.
And the Black Knights are closing in on that 16-0 record as they add on to their lead.
Extra point right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback.
Out is Mexico City now to go on offense. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter.
70 reach.
On 1st and 10, Dickinson. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now. But as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly the same way, because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Can't get away, and he's taken down. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's 3rd down.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
And he's going to go down again. Call it a loss of 4 there on the sack. And speaking of the number 4, it brings up 4th down now. And on now is the punter, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night.
Got you, boy.
And taken right on the 30. 43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home, because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
A big play on the catch and run, covering 34 yards.
And this has been the story all night long. They just came out firing and have not backed off, even with the big fourth quarter lead. Here's another completion for big yardage.
Ready, set.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. Touchdown! A A great play there with his second touchdown of the night.
And the Black Knights add 6 more to their point total, and they're on cruise control right now here in the fourth. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. How to go on offense. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Here we go.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
So 8 yards on the completion there, and they'll be left with second and a couple.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain. An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of 3 on the sack, and it brings up third down. So it's our visitors with the football as we get you reset. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
On third down, Dickinson.
Now throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete.
Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
This is taken at the 15. And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47.
Here's Brooklyn to once again go on offense. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate, but we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
Right back to him on first down. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there. Second down.
Well, we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Up huge on the scoreboard, and they're still trying to add to their total. That shot doesn't connect, but I don't think it'll dissuade them from attempting another one.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
option here on 1st and 10. And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35.
Now another timeout called for by the offense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
Here's a handoff out of the gun.
And he'll work his way inside the 30 now to the 28. Now the offense will burn their third and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break.
2nd down and 3.
They'll try and run left with Washington. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
A loss of a yard on the play. It's now 3rd down.
19 tight. 19 tight. Go.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw.
And that's going to be incomplete. Well, let's face it, not a lot left for them to prove in this game, but they're still throwing the football. I guess, of course, CD, you could always get the backups some work. There's new plays to try out. But some people, let's face it, they just want to run the score up. It's fun.
I love the way that you expressed that because you gave plenty of reasons why people like to do things. But ultimately, they just like to keep their foot on the gas, and they just want to tromp on teams. And what I like to see is, if you like to do that, how do you handle it when it comes back against you? On those days where someone can run it up on you, do you handle it the way that you expect your opponent to? If so, keep doing your thing.
Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago, and you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense, and they took advantage of every second. Guaranteed.